Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible legacy of an American icon, a true musical rebel, the one and only Willie Nelson. We're talking about much more than just a country star. We're exploring the man, the myth, and the music that shaped generations. Get ready to discover why Willie's voice is still echoing powerfully today, and why he truly is timeless. First off, let's talk about Willie's recording philosophy. For him, the studio wasn't some sterile laboratory for perfection. Nope, it was a sanctuary, a sacred space for truth. He cared more about raw emotion than polish, and soul always trumped technical precision. Think about the Nashville sound of the 60s and 70s, meticulously layered, perfect harmonies. Willie, he went the opposite way. He loved live, in-the-moment performances. He'd get his band in a room, play together, and capture that live energy, imperfections, breaths, everything. Forget overdubs, forget excessive reverb, and multiple takes. Nah, if the first take had feeling, that was the one. That philosophy, that Texas root, it came from a place where music was for dancing, not dissecting. It wasn't about flawless technique. It was about emotional authenticity. Producer Jerry Wexler famously said, Willie didn't want to make records. He wanted to make confessions. And you can hear it, right? The breath in his voice, the distinct twang of trigger, the subtle swing of the rhythm section. No artifice, just pure sound and soul. Even as technology boomed, Willie stuck to analog tape, warm mics, and natural acoustics. He believed mistakes were beautiful. A cracked note, a slight delay, a breath between lines because they proved the song was alive. His recordings weren't manufactured. They were born. But beyond the legendary albums, there's a treasure trove of unheard Willie Nelson. We're talking about a rich archive of unreleased recordings, demos, and private sessions. It's like a sonic diary of a man who literally lived for music. Picture this. Live performances from radio stations like Cut or WSM, stripped-down sets with just Willie, his guitar, and harmonica. Or imagine home recordings Willie rehearsing with his kids, playing old folk tunes, or singing gospel hymns with his beloved sister Bobby. There are even outtakes of hits like Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain and On the Road Again, showing how he painstakingly refined every phrase and timing, and farm-aid rehearsals. We're talking full band run-throughs, capturing the incredible tightness of his touring ensemble. One particularly poignant one is a private recording from 1982, Willie singing Angel flying too close to the ground alone in his Luck, Texas cabin. His voice is quiet, reflective, almost prayerful. Then there's a rare reel from 1975, where he's singing early versions of Red-Headed Stranger songs while driving through West Texas, narrating the story like a campfire tale. These aren't just curiosities, they deepen his legacy. They reveal a man whose life was music, not for fame, but for pure, unadulterated expression. Now, let's talk about Willie's incredible impact on women in country music. He's known for his love songs, sure, but his collaborations with female artists are legendary. He didn't just sing asterisk to asterisk women. He sang asterisk with asterisk them, always with immense respect, undeniable chemistry, and gut-wrenching emotional honesty. Think about his work with Shelby Lynne, Diana Krall, or Norah Jones on Remember Me, Volume 1. He broke genre barriers and always elevated their voices. He also championed artists like Loretta Lynn, admiring her boldness, and shared a deep mutual respect with Dolly Parton, recording timeless duets. Even modern stars like Miranda Lambert cite him as a model for independence. Willie never saw women as props. He saw them as equal partners in music, in life, in love. Artists like Reba McEntire, Casey Musgraves, and Mickey Guyton have pointed to his collaborations as the gold standard for respectful, powerful partnerships. He famously said, "A woman's voice is the most honest sound in music." And he didn't just say it. He lived it through every note and every collaboration. Beyond the stage and the studio, Willie Nelson carried a deep spiritual current in his music. While not overtly religious, his sound is rooted in the Baptist hymns of his youth and the trials he faced throughout his life. He released several gospel albums, like Family Bible in 1971, a beautiful tribute to his grandfather's faith, or The Troublemaker from 1976, which offered spirituals and hymns with that distinctive bluesy edge. Even in 2017, he gave us God's Problem Child, featuring the moving He Won't Ever Be Gone, a profound meditation on mortality and grace. But his faith wasn't just confined to gospel records. It infused his secular work too. Think about the man seeking forgiveness in Always on My Mind, or the prayer for second chances in Yesterday When I Was Young. Even the humorous, defiant farewell of Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die has that underlying spiritual contemplation. Willie never preached. He questioned, he doubted, he struggled. But he never stopped believing in redemption. He once said, "I don't know if I'm saved. I know I've been forgiven." That beautiful tension between sin and grace. That's the beating heart of his music. Willie Nelson became so much more than a singer. A Taya. He transformed into a cultural symbol, an archetype of the American experience itself. He embodied the outlaw, rejected by Nashville, but reborn on his own terms. He was the poet who turned pain into beautiful poetry. He was the activist, fighting for farmers and freedom, and the survivor, overcoming poverty, divorces, and health crises. His iconic image, those braids, the bandana, that battered guitar, Trigger, it's everywhere. You see it on t-shirts, murals, tattoos, posters in every dive bar and music hall, even statues and museum exhibits. His Luck, Texas Ranch remains a pilgrimage site, with fans leaving flowers, notes, and small gifts, a testament to a man who turned his private sanctuary into a public celebration. He didn't just represent a genre, he represented an entire way of life. And speaking of genres, Willie Nelson's appeal stretches far beyond country music. His songs have been covered by an unbelievable array of artists, pop icons like Linda Ronstadt and Linda Davis, rock legends like the Grateful Dead and the Byrds, soul singers such as Solomon Burke and Al Green, even indie darlings like Neko Case and Lucinda Williams. And jazz giants like Wynton Marsalis and Diana Krall have put their spin on his tunes. Just Crazy alone has over 600 recorded versions in multiple languages: Spanish, German, Japanese, you name it. His music has graced the soundtracks of films like The Electric Horseman, Honeysuckle Rose, and Inside Llewyn Davis, and permeated TV shows from The Sopranos to Yellowstone. He didn't just cross over. He transcended. He proved that great music, sung with truth, speaks to everyone, everywhere. Now, like any legend, Willie Nelson has been romanticized. He's often portrayed as this carefree hippie or hardened outlaw. But the truth, as always, is far more complex and fascinating. Yes, he smoked marijuana. Yes, he toured relentlessly. Yes, he cherished his freedom above all else. But he was also incredibly compassionate, advocating fiercely for veterans, farmers, and prisoners. He was endlessly curious, delving into philosophy, literature, and even Eastern thought. His friends describe him as witty and full of life, and he was always candid, openly speaking about his mistakes and regrets. He wasn't a caricature. He was a man, flawed, brilliant, and profoundly human. And that raw humanity, that's what gave his voice such incredible, enduring power. So, why does Willie Nelson still matter so much today? Because truth is timeless, and a voice that sings the truth will never, ever age. Willie Nelson matters because he refused to pretend. He didn't hide his past. He didn't sugarcoat life. He just sang it loud, clear, and unbelievably beautiful. And in doing so, he gave a voice to millions who felt invisible, who struggled, who loved, who lost. Willie Nelson may one day leave us in body, but he will never truly be gone. He lives in the gentle strum of Trigger on a back porch, in the profound silence before the final note of Always on My Mind, in the tears of a fan hearing on the road again for the very first time. He lives in the strength of a person singing his songs while missing someone they love. He wasn't just a singer. He was a witness to love, to loss, to survival. And as long as there is a heart that breaks, a farmer tilling the soil, or a song that desperately needs to be sung, Willie Nelson will still be there. Not in flesh, not bound by time, but forever in sound. And that, my friends, is immortality. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through Willie Nelson's incredible world. If you enjoyed this dive into his legacy, please hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into music history, and let me know in the comments what's your favorite Willie Nelson song or memory. We'd love to hear it. See you next time.